Should probably just jump right in. Oh, but you're not gonna see the... Okay, so Kristen, so all you missed was, you missed the fact that we don't have a home. So
You lost our home?
Yeah, because we're staying in a hotel. We haven't gotten a home yet.
So we're out on the streets?
No, Mr. Natsume said that he'd offer his lodgings so we could live in the boarded up house. And then Mr. Sholmes was like, hey, you should come live with me in my attic. And we got to his attic and he was... Oh god, do I have it?
Was he masturbating?
Yes, he was masturbating, and this came for children, Kristen. Yeah, you left right as that scene was ending. Oh, of course, Sato tossed us again. I don't remember if you were there for that.
Is he dressed down?
The view is quite nice.
Hello, Sholmes.
It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore
Yeah,
it.
I had to show you that.
So he put off his hat and he took off his jacket. Hello, husband.
Until I discover the doctor with by the city of London, that is.
I always give the most attractive people the worst voices.
I've come to love that voice for him.
Alright. Having examined this fireplace.
Because it fits his personality.
Okay, so we gotta examine the fireplace. Alright, we're starting case 5 now, finally. The Hound of the Baskervilles. The adventure of the unspeakable story. A hound it was, but not such a hound as many mortal has ever seen. Oh.
It's coming!
It's coming! Watson. Or Wilson, as they call it in this version.
As I cocked it, and I waited breathlessly in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous...
It's a horse!
sprang out upon us.
No, that's a wolf.
A hound it was, but not such a hound as
It's a dire
anyone
wolf.
has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The
It's
whole of
ox-sized?
outlined
Holy
by
shit.
flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl so terrified
It's
I
an
that I became
ox-sized
tremulous here.
wolf.
Look well, Wilson, Sholmes declared, gazing upon the
Are you sure it's not an werewolf?
That's what I already said.
This
Oh,
is
sorry, I
the
couldn't hear you over the
diabolical
microwave.
hound
Yeah, I can't hear anything over that microwave.
Sorry! I just want my burritos.
No, you will have them cold.
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
Fuck you.
Come over here and fuck me yourself, coward.
I will.
Okay. This is what I wanted. Oh no! Wow, that didn't take that long. No, I'm playing a game now.
No, you said come over and fuck me yourself. So
Our first
I will come over and
Our first
fuck you
2 months,
myself.
our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram.
You can drink that.
I won't. It's no... There's a speck of orange there. I wonder if that's from your nails earlier. Knock, knock, knock.
Wait the fuck up.
That morning, I was narrating by the unreserved knocking of the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san. Yes! Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh no, of course not. How silly of me. But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes! Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. I love her.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, what case is it today? Here we go again. The hell is this thing? It's spring at last, and the weather is warmer now. But I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle. Oh, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san? Thank you, Susato-san, but I'm alright for now. With green tea, Susato-san makes me from time to time, and Iris's unique herbal infusions. This place is paradise for a true tea lover. I suppose it's sacrilege to talk in a British accent and say herb, doesn't it? Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think? There's probably not going to be anything to actually examine here, but it's nice to look at the room. So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I think it's cute how he has the Daruma, the doll that they were talking about last chapter, and he's got one eye filled in. Because they're supposed to be, you're supposed to buy those for, or not buy, but, you know.
Make them.
Make them for a specific goal in mind. And you fill in one eye when you pick out your goal, and then you fill in the other when you achieve that goal. That's really cute. That's nice attention to detail.
He picked out his goal.
Well, I'm sure he had his goal. Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand.
I have a girlfriend.
What? But we're in 1904, Great Britain. I suppose Sasaki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? If he's still alive. Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or just be a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him, do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Aren't telegrams transmitted over wire? How do you transmit a telegram from a ship?
Probably. I don't know.
I don't know anything about telegrams, I'm gonna be honest. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I mean, fucking telephones were over wires until, like, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, so I mean, like, it's not that weird. I was just wondering, what might have become of Sasaki-san had he stayed in London, that's all. He would have died. You mean, as regards Lord Sven Zeeks? The Reaper? Yes, I can't help but wondering if seasickness would have paled in significance with that case. Well, I guess we better talk about this. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Like, it's amazing that he fucking died so quickly. Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London. Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Sasaki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? This just in, the Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Van Zeeks, is taking a long voyage to the country of Japan. What's this? He's coming back already? Ah, it appears he's done with his voyage. Also, some random author in Japan just died suddenly and weirdly enough. Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the Sword of Justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently Lord Van Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, since Sasaki-san's trial. He's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. What a weirdo. Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then. Just my luck. This is the same energy as Godot in the third game, who specifically only takes trials because Phoenix Wright is on them. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? So I said, I wonder if luck has nothing, never mind. Alright, bye. Yeah, I'm pressing the right button. It means a great deal to me, you know, that you cherish his armband so, and wear it each time you appear in court. Well, it's very, very important to me. It's what shows me that I'm a lawyer. And whenever I wear it, I feel as though it gives me strength through Kazuma. I absolutely can't be without it, especially when I'm at a critical point in a trial. But just the other day, I noticed you were wearing it when we went to visit that park. Sometimes I forget to take it off.
Can't I just carry my armband of my boyfriend, from my late boyfriend, to the park?
Morning, Miriam. Morning, Susie. It's been so long since I've done your voice, I forgot it. Good morning, Iris. Iris? Who's torturing a cat? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a ha-ha-ha! Sounds like a tortoise cat being strangled. Ah, yes. You noticed that, did you? Daddy. Hurley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems. Oh. Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh
no. Good morning. What's so good about it?
No!
Oh! Good morning to die, perhaps. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Oh no, he's actually British now. The cat! Oh look, it's Wagahai. Good morning, boy. Meow. Meow. What did I do that for? Oh yeah, the cat and Justice for All. I was like, wait a second, there's no cat in Ace Attorney. I was like, I don't think this cat talked before. What do I remember saying that for? Must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. Some sort of catty door. How did it get there? Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful! Let me help you, Iris. Let me just be so how. It would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholm's desk. Well, anyway. The fire's burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to Japanese hibachi somehow. Oh, look at the photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting. Can you turn off the fan? Is that supposed to mean something for me, to me? Thank you. Wakahai! Yeah, we're just gonna ignore Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled into his new home then. I don't get how cats work. I guess I've become very attached to the Waggy. It would appear his previous owner has completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their muse is empty as the hearts of the muses. Kitty! If Mr. Natsume has had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place. I expect he would have taken him if he could. Pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed. Like murder of our best friend. Well, I don't mind, because Waggy is adorable. Meow. Yes, he really is. Oh yes. What about the door? I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from? Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Runo. Look, I use this. It's my latest. It's the door cutout-onator. What? What is that? I call it the cat flap. What? The cat flapper-mat. Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats? That's right, it can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. But will it work for dogs? Of course not.
I will have to do that. My other machine.
I have to do a different machine for that one. It can do any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see. Wouldn't it have been quicker to just make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make that cat flap? Well, yes, maybe, but now I can't make now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like. Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door in our office upstairs, Iris. She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. Hee hee. Alright, we'll talk to him now. Wanting to die. You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? Sigh. It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melusient tones would make flowers bloom. They would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have bowed. For days even, through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone. Gone forever! No more recitals of unbridled emotion! Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry, I'm sure it will come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruto. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh, dear. Ah, why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin from me, what is left for pity's sake? What is left? What can I, the successful and famous Mr. Herlock, copyrighted, Herlock Sholmes will have left if I don't have the violin?
But it's the only thing that really brings him joy.
That and my opium. Deduction, perhaps. Isn't that what you're known for? Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but... wasn't there a thing on that desk? Your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Miss Susato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale into insignificance when compared to yours. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's great anilotoscope? That's at Windibanks now. Sorry, it's at Windibank? No, Windibanks, the pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? You mean you've pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see, quite undeservedly. But is it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. It's not like we have any money either. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh, what's to understand exactly? Let me move over to here so I can explain pawnbroking. What do you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their yeah, I said it right the first time, their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays, they go recover their things using the money they've earned. I had no idea this had been a fascinating lesson for us. That doesn't make any sense. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Windibanks, you see. A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? This sounds incorrect, but I don't know enough about pawnbrokeries to really argue. Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't, like his great big machine. Don't you, Hurley? I have a severe mental illness. What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. What's the word? I do seemingly insignificant things that give me momentary joy, only to regret them horribly in a moment's notice. The world is dead to me now. Oh, what was that? Wagahai? Oh no! Cat noises! What was that? Oh no! Wagahai's tangled up in your violin! No! I think he thinks it's a toy! No! What's he doing to it? Oh god, I thought only male cats did that. Wait, Waghai is a male. Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes' precious violin. It's a cat toy now. Why should I care? I shouldn't be surprised if the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Oh, bother. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll pull it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley? Out of the cat's reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Sigh. We're just gonna leave him like this.
No, go investigate. I want to go see if the cat's in the...
That's not what I wanted. Here you go. Mr. Sholmes, could I ask you for your opinion about this? No. You lure me to raise my languid head with the promise of some mental exhaustion. Yet in my morbid depression, I am confronted with the most mundane of problems. Oh. My mind finds greater stimulation in the unforgiving monotony of the floor than your miserable offering. Always glad to help. Oh, my head weighs heavy on my shoulders. I'm now the Eeyore of our group. Oh, looks fine. Except for that string. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I don't know what that means. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in the pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. That's like half of a guinea. And until today, it has been my faithful companion and even great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? No! There is none! Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies released from this dull routine. That's remarkably, concerning, but, anyway, about your violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Miss Susato? Oh, Susie's right! Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. I mean, that might be the cat's fault. It's not even the right size, is it? What's this? That was a pretty good what, if I'm being honest with myself. I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. It's a viola. It's a tiny violin. It's an entirely different instrument called the viola. I was kidding! What? 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 What?
He fell down!
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you right? You're right! You are quite right! This isn't my faithful Stradivarius! So what? Or pray, is this piece of string and flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then. I see what must have happened. You do, Iris. This is just a simple mix-up. Sounds like Iris might be able to tell us what's happened if we ask her. Let's ask her what happened. This is where Iris knows sound ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? Ah, the Buscombe Valley Mystery. Oh, how intriguing. It must be the title of Iris's latest work. Oh my. I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us. Susato-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you could imagine. How scandalous. Knife. No, I want to examine Iris. Don't take that out of context, please. What do you mean by a mix-up, Iris?
Well, you see, this violin, sorry, this viola, I mean, was at Windibank's until last week.
At the pawnbroker's? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. There is a proverb from the East, with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel.
Yes, indeed.
So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in hope that it would experience personal growth?
Oh, what a wonderful idea.
Last week I pawned my great analyscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear that Mr. Windibank mistakenly furnished me with his toddy fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw! A fine state of affairs this is. This is why I always say, Mr. Naruto, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time out of your fiddle.
But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbroker as an extremely secure vault.
Come, Mr. Naruto, dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. I have to murder a pawnbroker to get this case started. Crunching a toast with that vacant aspect, pressing your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced?
We must visit Mr. Windibank's baroquerie at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes?
What are you doing?
Oh, I got some stuff done.
Oh, okay. Precisely, Miss Susato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to press your egg with even more obtusely? Alright, say no more. Let's go then.
Don't worry, Bruno. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later.
Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I'm rather curious to see what British pawnbrokers look like. Let's just go then. So I can go outside to Baker Street, or I can just go straight to the pawnbroker.
Go to Baker Street.
No.